It's March 12th, and we are 7 months and 21 days away from our Ironman. This episode edition, and basically the last 10 days, John and I have just been focusing on gear and getting the gear we need for the Ironman, learning about the gear we need for the Ironman, learning about the gear we need in order to train, and basically been trying to source gear, also get fitted for shoes and bikes to figure out what we need that's gonna help us stay safe the next 7.5 months.
So last week we went to the runner's den and we got fitted for a new pair of running shoes, and it was a very interesting process because neither of us had ever been to get ourselves fitted for a pair of shoes. So the whole process came across a little bit foreign. Our experiences had just been walking into a shoe store and just picking whatever looked cool and buying it, or going on to Zappos and just purchasing it online. So our experience on it was very, very limited. So we went to a shoe store here in Phoenix called the Runner's Den, and this shoe store is managed by one of my old athletes' father. He invited us to the store to get fitted for a new pair of shoes, and it was again a very interesting process. Right off the bat, he spoke to us about our goals, our running experience, and again, what our injuries were. My list was considerably longer than Maggie's, who had 0 injuries. I had a whole shopping list of injuries that I had to report to him on. Right after that, he got us up on our feet. We had to stand with our feet parallel to each other, and he just watched how our feet settled. But what he saw was that both of our feet tend to overpronate or underpronate. Overpronate, which means they collapse inwards, which is pretty common for swimmers or past swimmers.
And because our feet were overpronating like that, it helped him identify what shoes would be best fit for keeping us safe on long runs. So because he was able to identify that for both of us, it kind of helped him choose the handful of pairs that he recommended us try on. And
again, we chose a pair that fitted our feet, supported our ankles a lot, because that pronation could lead, from repetition, could lead to some serious knee and hip problems later on. And one thing he did mention to us is that if you get your feet right, if you get your shoes right, everything else stabilizes up.
Yeah, he described the shoes as the foundation of your house. So if you have a really strong foundation, the rest of the house is strong as well. So we liked that analogy and made us feel really comfortable and safe with the selections we were making.
Yeah.
After we put the shoes on, we both put a couple pairs on and went out front and jogged up and down. And he kept an eye on how our gait was looking and wanted to make sure that that foundation was in place. Something else that I noticed in these running shoes that I'd never felt before was the toe spring. So essentially all the other shoes that I've ever worn have been more for cross training, and like John was saying, less support on the ankle, less support over the wrap, the top, the bridge of my foot. And this toe spring piece is extra support underneath the padding of your foot, so it kind of helps as you're running make your foot bounce forward to kind of complete the stride. So I noticed right away when I put the first pair of running shoes on, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a crazy feeling. But it was awesome and interesting to be able to talk about that.
What shoes did you end up with?
I ended up getting a pair of Reeboks. Did I get Reeboks?
New Balance.
I got a pair of New Balances. I didn't get Reeboks. I don't know. Still clueless.
And I got a new pair of Hoka one-on-ones.
So that was our shoe experience, and it was awesome, and we loved it. And if you're in Phoenix and you're looking for a pair of running shoes, check out the Runner's Den. It's great, 16th Street and Bethany Home.
And we'll link on this video the website, not on this bit, but down below.
Like the show notes.
Because I'm not
technologically savvy.
Yes.
Gotcha.
To be able to put it on like a little thing.
We next went and were fitted for bikes, and when we went to the bike shop, this is where my mind was blown, because I just realized how expensive this hobby is, which I had no idea. So anyway, we worked with a guy John used to coach with named Kris. We went to his bike shop called Trailhead Bikes Cafe, also kind of in the same Central Phoenix area. we walked in and he knew we were looking for bikes. He kind of explained to us the difference between a road bike and a tri-bike, but my understanding was that tri-bikes are a little bit lighter. They have special handlebars so that your arms can be parallel to each other while you're riding. And that's basically it. And I guess that other part is because of the handlebar piece, the way that the seat is, or the way that the frame is built so that the seat can help tilt you forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Something like that. So those are the main differences. And then the other component of the road bikes are that our purposes, we could just get a road bike and modify it for tries, which would mean put the tri bars on it.
And another important part of it is height, or the bike choice that you're going to have is not determined by your general height. It's actually determined by your inseam of your leg. Kris was able to eyeball us, see what bike he thought would fit or would fit our needs, and he was able to fit us. And I think I'm a 55 to a 56 inch bicycle depending on the handlebars, and Maggie is a 59 to 60.
I think it's actually termed in centimeters. It's from Africa. It was great. I got out of one bike and it felt fine, and then I got on a second bike that was the 59, and it was a used bike, and it was amazing how much more comfortable I felt on that bike. So it was nice to know what our frame sizes are, and that we can, same as the shoes, find a good frame and then modify it so that we can do tries on it.
Which is great. The other component to it is that, when we're doing an Ironman, we know that we're going to be on this bike for 6+ hours. So we want to make sure that we get something that fits us right, that we feel comfortable on, and that we can actually get through the race without having any sort of lower back or hip problems.
The last gear component is I have a friend in my book club named Suzanne, and she reached out to me on Instagram after we had posted one of our videos. Shout out to Suzanne and James. And she shared that her and her husband James have all sorts of triathlon gear. So James has done 3 triathlons, 3 Ironmen, and Suzanne has done a shorter distance triathlons, but they have all of the gear. So she offered to share some of their gear that they have not been using, which was amazing. So I went over to their place last weekend, and she shared 2 InHome Trainers with me. So the InHome Trainers are essentially setups that you can have in your home to put your bike on, so that if the weather is inclement or you aren't able to go out and ride for several hours, you can just hook your bike up inside your home and you can have that same riding experience. She also lent us some Ironman gear, logo gear, backpacks and hats, which will be really cool to have. And then she actually has a road bike that is Jono's size that they offered to let us try out and see if it might be a fit for him to be able to use for the next foreseeable future while we train. So to recap, we got new shoes, we learned about how expensive bikes are, and we got some indoor trainers. And that's kind of where we're at. We have been doing like more base training, and that's about it for the update for now. Cheers!
See you next time. Do you want to try that bit again?
No.